here. I've got
Oh, yeah.
Gatlin with me tonight. Gage is here with me tonight.
I'm on the floor.
And
You
then
got a
I'm
full house?
here. I do.
Wow. No, it's been hot as all get out. I mean, it's like stupid hot. So I was working on a water filter. We've got a water filter company we've been talking to, and they sent me a bunch of product, and they're like, "Can you try these out and do a video?" And I'm like, "It's like 95 degrees." I was like, "I really don't want to do this right now," but I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll sit out there and do it." So that's what I've been doing this afternoon. So
Yeah, this weekend I took scoped carbine with Greenline Tactical,
yeah,
and like thank God we did most of the stuff laying and prone under shade tents, even
yeah.
with the under shade tents. Hey bud, if you keep being distracting, I'm gonna make you go sit on the couch, okay?
Okay.
But even with the shade tents, like it was miserable. Like we were all just like heat exhausted. I got prickly heat like all over my chest and back. It was a lot. What's up, Grant, Max, Raffle? I'm not sure. Adam, how are you, sir? What's up, Rocco?
Been nasty. Thank goodness we've been inside. I'm a general contractor, so most of my stuff is inside. We do kitchen and bathroom remodels, so it's typically 70 degrees in there. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about that for sure. So, but yeah, well, we got a few people in here. Everybody's
We
slowly
do.
coming.
Yeah, they start rolling in. We've got over 20 right now. We'll go ahead and let them know. The reason that I let the kids come on here tonight is because like I want you guys to keep in mind when Jason gives his spiel about like when we start talking about that, like everybody that's that size is somebody's kid. There's somebody saying, "Can you please stop doing that dance? I need you to go sit over there, sir." We are not. No, sir. Hey, okay, I know you're being cute. Can you take Gatlin over there, please? Y'all go sit. Bye. No, I want them to be like a part of this stuff and to remind you guys like every child out there belongs to someone.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, Jason, give us a quick rundown of the foundation that y'all are donating to, and we can talk a little bit about what Tactical Response and some other people in the industry have done kind of to try to get it rolling.
I started Shelly Randolph and I started Kentucky Sustainable Living. It kind of we had kind of the group going and everything. We were sitting down at Self Reliance Festival 3 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
Tag from Life Done Free came up and he was like, "Y'all need to do a festival in Bowling Green." And I laughed at him. I'm like, "Dude, you're crazy." I was like, "We couldn't do this crap." Somebody else came up and said, "Hey, y'all need to do a festival in Bowling Green." So we looked and we're like, all right, let's do it. So we just rounded the steel up. Had no idea about festivals. I'm a contractor. Shelly works for a manufacturing facility that she's the training person for it. We have no idea about festivals, marketing, or anything. So
Right.
we started this a wing and a prayer. So we do a festival once a year in Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's Kentucky Sustainable Living, the Homesteading and Preparedness Festival. So we're taking the homesteading people and the prepper people because there's so much overlap in it. It's like these people need to be combined together.
Right.
So in doing that, and we can talk about the festival a little bit more in a minute. But the big thing is TJ Bear Independent has Caleb House, which it's his restoration facility for children that they rescue out of sex trafficking rings. So
Right.
the big thing, and I've talked to
One
TJ.
second, really quick. Hey, Gatlin, if you don't sit down and be quiet, you're going to have to get your butt whooped, kid. I don't want another sound out of you. Here. I just want to make sure everybody's hearing it. And he knows better. He's pushing limits, and he knows if he doesn't stop pushing limits, his butt's going to feel them. So you can let him play on that.
Right.
Okay. So, yes, over there now. So, no more questions. We're done, guys. Quiet time. Not another word out of anybody. Got it? Punch you in the mouth if you do. Both of y'all go in the bedroom and shut the door now. You have 5, 4, 3. Better get them feet moving. 2. Okay. I want to make sure everybody hears because this is really, really important stuff.
Bennett had started Caleb House. It's a restoration facility, and I've talked to TJ about it a lot. And he's told me, he's like, everybody spends money on awareness. That's the bulk of the money spent on awareness. We're aware of this is going on. Do something about it. Get your ass off your couch and do something. So they're actually. What?
When you say awareness, because we haven't really got into what Caleb House is for yet, go ahead and let people know what you mean by that.
The awareness part, there are children that go missing every minute of the day. For people are kidnapping them, they're doing this, taking them in and selling them as sex slaves or molesting them, doing whatever. And we've got to be careful. That's the shitty thing. We've got to be careful what we say on YouTube because your feet will get cut quick. But there are children that are being serially raped every minute in this country, and it is an awful thing that's going on. Caleb House actually rescues these kids and does the rehabilitation for these kids. So that goes back. Yes, there's people out there. Oh, we need to be aware of sex trafficking. Shit, everybody knows that there's people being sex trafficked.
Like it exists. We know that.
Yeah, we know it. We know it exists, just like the sun exists. Everybody knows it's there, unless you're, I don't know, unless you're too wrapped up in Call of Duty or whatever to know it exists. Everybody knows it exists. The awareness. Stop spending money on the awareness. Spend the money on the rehabilitation of these children. So, and TJ has told me before, it's like, yes, they'll go, people will rescue these kids, but then they get sent back into the foster system and it's rinse and repeat. Because most of these kids, people can go rescue them, get them out of these bad situations. They have nowhere to go, so they dump them off at a foster house. And a lot of the times it's like a few months later, they're back in the system of being trafficked. So Caleb House is a restoration facility. It's more, TJ's described it without giving some of the OPSEC away. Essentially, the children can live there with a house mom and dad. They've got their own room, their own stuff, and essentially it's a farm. They're doing it. I know some of my friends have done consulting stuff for permaculture. They're going to have sheep. They're going to have chickens. They're going to have orchards. They can go out and live a normal life and get rehabilitated to where they can go out and function in society. And TJ always says to break that generational curse of breaking the cycle, because typically if somebody has been trafficked and molested, they're going to go on and molest somebody else in the future. So if you can break that cycle right there, you've stopped it. That generation is stopped. And it's amazing. I get caught up about it, and I get emotional about it. Every event we've had for them, we've raised exactly how much money we're supposed to raise, that God wanted us to raise on that. And dude, there's not a dry eye in the place. There's a bunch of bearded dudes crying because we raised $12,000, and it's like, I'm not a crier, but man, I break down and cry about it.
So, right. It's an emotional thing. And when you were telling me about it before, like it made my heart so happy that it wasn't just an awareness thing and really wasn't just a rescue thing. Like they had that rehabilitation, and that the focus is on getting them back to functional members of society. Because if you're jumping from the boiling water to the frying pan by putting these kids back into the foster system, and we know that abuse runs rampant in the foster systems and CPS and things like that. Like we know that. So if you can have a dedicated place where they're doing like significant background checks on people, they're following up, making sure that these kids are safe and loved, like that is completing the whole rescue process. Just taking them out of the one bad situation isn't rescuing them. Like
the whole background check thing, we know what it is to get your concealed carry permit and the
Mhm.
background checks and stuff like that. It's easier for me to go get a concealed carry permit 10 times easier than to go work it and be a volunteer at Caleb House. It's a stringent process. And the thing is, even if I talked to one of the guys, he helps and does stuff there. He says, I can't even take my wife there because she's not been vetted and background checked on all that. So it's not like you're just going to roll up there and be like, hey, I want to help out. It's like, dude, you got to go through the whole vetting process and everything to do that. It's kind of like if you showed up, you're going to meet guys with guns, which is
Right.
amazing. It'd be like, we don't want you
Mhm.
here, so you're not allowed to be here. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna do that event. That event is in conjunction with the festival. It's going to be Saturday night, the 19th, and that's in the festival's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. You don't have to come. You don't have to pay anything to come to it. Uh, we set a goal last time, TJ and I, and we were kind of kidding around about it. He's like, we need $86,000 to finish the concrete pads out there. And I was like,
Mhm.
hell, I was like, give me something hard. And he was like, yeah. He's like, that's hard. And I was like, I know. I said, there's probably no way we're going to raise $86,000. So I asked him, I'm like, what kind of goal do you want to set this time? He said, let's not do a monetary thing. He said, let's see how many people we can get. So that arena will seat I think it's 325 people. He goes, if we can get 325 people in there, he said it's a success. And I'm like, cool. I want to pack that place with 300 to 325 people is my goal.
And so when are the dates specifically for the whole thing?
The dates for the festival is July 18th, 19th, and 20th. The
Okay.
the charity auction is the 19th, the Saturday night. Going to start about 5 o'clock. We've got a barbecue food truck is going to be there. If you want food, you can get food, have dinner. TJ is going to get up and talk and explain. He does a hell of a lot better explaining Caleb House than what I can. He's going to explain why we're there, the mission of
Mhm.
Caleb House, and what they're going to do with this money. After that, we're going to have a charity auction, and part of it's going to be silent auction, part of it's going to be a live auction, and that's where you come in. And I tell you, Andrew from Combat Art Training, the way this came to fruition, I was looking at it. It's like, hey, we're a bunch of rednecks that are going to auction off chainsaws and medical kits and stuff. I talked to my buddy. He is a charity auctioneer. That's his whole business is doing. He does charity auctions all over the country. He said, I will donate my guys and my time for this event. I was like, that's awesome. So we went to breakfast one morning. He goes, with charity events, you don't want to sell items, you want to sell experiences.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that got the wheels turning. So then I was like, holy cow, Tap Rack Ridge. And y'all are going to be over at Tap Rack Ridge. I called Tap Rack because they're just like 2 hours away in Corbin. I was like, hey, Robert, I was talking to the guys, like, can you do some kind of class for me? He goes, we're just facilitating and we're just a venue. He said, I can't give away classes. He said, you know who's coming, call some of those guys. And I was like,
Mhm.
I know Andrew from Combat Art Training. So I called Andrew. I was like, dude, and I hate asking for stuff. I'm one of these guys. I don't want anything free. Everything I've got is stuff that I've worked for.
Right.
Uh, I told Andrew about it. I was like, hey, what can we do? He goes, I'll give you a spot in the summit that they're doing at Tap Rack. And he said, I'll give you one of my 2-day classes. And I'm like, you're kidding. And he goes, no. He said, I'll do it for you. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. He goes, let me make some other phone calls. So I had another guy call me and I forgot his name. It's Buell is his first name. He's out in
Gil Collins. I know who that is
yes,
already.
yes. So he texted me. He's like, I've got a pistol or rifle class if you want to come to it. And so I called him. I'm like, dude, that's amazing. I appreciate it. Talked to him for a few minutes. And then you called me or you texted me that afternoon. I was like, we
Yeah.
just need to talk. And you were like, I will do fighting pistol. And I'm like, okay. And then I told you, we talked a little bit more. And you're like, I didn't know this was about kids. I want to do immediate action medical too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, God kicked the doors open. It's the old saying, if you do your part, God will open the doors. I mean, he busted these things wide open, just kicked it. And it's like silver platter for me. Uh, and then I started talking to some of the other people. Greg New is a beekeeper here in Kentucky. Or no, he's actually down in Clarksville. He's a retired military guy. He's a beekeeper now. He said, I'll donate 2 consultations. So he's going to come out to your place and we're pairing it. The cool thing is we're pairing it like Greg, you're going to buy a bee nuke of live bees with everything you need to start beekeeping. Greg's going to come to your place and show you how to set the bees up.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah. So, I mean, that's an experience. I don't know if you could pay Greg really to come out to your place or not. So we've got that. Chuck Peoples with Homestead Medical. Chuck and I are friends. Chuck's giving 2 classes away with that. Evan, and I just saw Evan a minute ago. He's doing 2 spots in one of his classes. He was like, yeah, he said, I'll give you 2 spots. If a husband and wife or 2 buddies want to come, I'll give you 2 spots in the class. A lot of the people, we know, like we've got some herbal ladies. They're going to donate spots in classes. William, the permaculture consultant, is most likely going to do a consultation for us, auction one of those off. One thing, and I'll tell you, since we've got a lot of tactical people in here, I need 2 more chest rigs. Is what I need. Either one more chest rig or a war belt, because with Fighting Pistol, I was looking at it. Let's do the experiences. So some of the rifle classes, I've got Tasmanian Tiger. They sent me a chest rig for one of the rifle classes, and then oh shoot, I forgot. Crate Tactical sent me a chest rig. So we're going to fit the chest rigs out. We're going to have empty magazines for them. We're going to have a ham radio on it. We're going to have an IFAK, and hopefully we're working on knives for each one. So it's going to be a whole experience. I want a war belt. So when somebody buys the Fighting Pistol class, they've got a holster, their war belt, and IFAK, and everything ready to go. And it's like, dude, they get excited. They're like, shit, yeah, I got a brand new war belt. I'm going to Camden, Tennessee, and take Fighting Pistol. I want to buy this thing.
Right.
So
that is awesome.
I get excited about it. I'm just like, I'm going to buy some of this crap. So it's just, it's amazing. So that, and I know I just keep talking and talking, but I'm excited about it. I was nervous about this thing, but after all this, I'm just like, I'm freaking excited about it now.
Now, as soon as I heard like what the mission for, because I had done a quick look at the Caleb House stuff, and you had said last year their focus was on like the actual rescue operations, and that's kind of where they found the need for the rehabilitation follow up. Like you have to give them somewhere to go. And when I found out it was the rehab stuff, I was like, absolutely anything we can do, because like kids are it, man. Like they are the reason we're here, to provide them with like good and happy lives, to love them and care about them, and like to leave something good for them.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I've got a 9-year-old, almost 10, and I would move mountains for that kid. And it's just, I think about it and I look and I'm like, how could someone do something to a child like that? It's just, it just bothers me to no end. We teach on Wednesday nights. We're out for Wednesday nights for the summer at church, but we teach the first graders at church. And I look at those kids and I'm like, how could somebody hurt a child like that? It's just beyond me. And it's the whole thing, we kid about it, but it's like, you need to feed them through the wood chipper feet first. And that's
on an unrelated note, the wood chipper's well old. I don't know if you see that in the comments.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that, and like I've got a shirt that on the front of it has got a wood chipper and a leg sticking out of it, and on the back it says compost pedophiles.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies asked me, they're like, "Are you going to wear that out in public?" And I was like, "You're damn right, I'm going to wear it out in public." So it's kind of a litmus test. This, you can have gray areas in life, just like with guns. You know, everybody, you know, the guy can say, yeah, Glocks are okay, or I absolutely love Glocks. You can have that gray area. It's like, you know, a Glock's okay, but I'm going to carry a 1911. You know, that's my gun. There's no gray area. You're either for or against being a pedophile. So, and there's no, well, it could be okay this time. No, it's either right. You know, you're on one side or the other. So it's a litmus test for people. People have looked at that shirt, and I explained it to them. And I had one guy at a gun show of all places. He was like, "That shirt kind of offends me." And I looked at him straight in the face, and I said, "I know which side of the aisle you're on, man." I was like, "I hope you have a nice life." And I just walked off. I was like, if the shirt offends you, there's a problem with you.
Well, they have those the TikTok videos going around where they ask moms like, "Would you kill for your kid?" And like a surprising amount say no. And I tell my kids all the time, like from the moment they were born, I would tell them like, I would die for you, I
Yeah,
will live for you, and I will burn the fucking world down for you. Like there
yeah,
is nothing that I won't do for you. And it is insane to me that like that's not how all parents are.
yeah,
Like, how can you bring this thing into the world and not want the absolute best possible life for them?
yeah. Well,
Like,
I guarantee you, most of those people, most of those dads, and I'm speaking for dads, most of those dads are working a 9 to 5 job at the bank or something like that. And they come home, they eat dinner, say hi to the kids, and they go upstairs and they play video games all night. So why would they? Would probably look at it, and I don't know. I'm from the mentality I would do anything for my children, but they would rather. They probably think of it as, man, I don't want to give up my video games and my job and that stuff just to save my kid, which is a shitty thing to think for a person. So I mean, any of the kids that we have in church on Wednesday
mhm.
night, I don't know these kids that well. We get to see them and everything, but I get to know the kids. But I would give my life for one of those kids,
Right.
no questions asked. And they're not even my own. It's if somebody did something to harm these kids, I would stand in between those kids and the bad person. Just it would be a no brainer. I wouldn't cower in a corner and be like, "Oh, shoot these kids and take them. I need to go play my video games tonight after church."
Well, like you you wouldn't stand outside like the Parkland officer did, like
Oh yeah, playing on
school
your
full of
phone.
children. Yeah. Um, no, you have to be willing to make sacrifices.
Yeah,
And I think that any of us on this like martial lifestyle, this martial path that we walk, um, if you don't feel conviction to protect innocent people, like we're not the same.
yeah,
Like you have to have that conviction to where you want to make sure that innocent people are like getting through things. And when you look at like the most innocence in society, it is the like small children, the elderly, and the disabled. Like
yeah,
those are the people I'll go hard for. Like
yeah.
you have to. And if somebody else isn't going to be responsible for their kids' safety, like I it's kind of your duty to step up if you're a good person.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. And it's funny. Sunday at church, we went for Sunday school. The lady that handles all the kids stuff and everything, she texted my wife. She's like, "We need a couple extra people in the nursery." And I looked at my wife. I was like, "Do I get to hold babies?" And she goes, "Yeah, you're gonna get to hold babies." This big burly dude with a beard. I go in there and I get to hold for an hour two little babies cuddled in my arms. They were eating Cheerios for an hour. I was in heaven. And then the moms come in and look, and they're like, "This dude's sitting here with these two babies just having fun," because that's not the norm most of the time.
right.
So yeah, I enjoyed this, and I look at those kids, and I'm like, how could somebody do that? I'm not a door kicker. I'm not going to be on one of their rescue teams. I'm just not that person. But I can raise as much money and help facilitate raising enough money to where you can fund that. You can fund the houses that they're building for these kids. Everybody's got a part in it. So,
Mhm.
I mean, heck, if we get 300 people and everybody gives $10, I mean, you're going to blow $10 on a couple cans of dip or a couple things of Zen. If you give $10 at 300 people, that's 3 grand right there before we auction anything.
Right. So, how can people help if they? I know you said the people being there, showing up. If they can't be in Bowling Green on July 19th, like how can they help?
They can go to it's calebhouse.org is the website, and you can donate. You can donate there. I'm pretty sure they've got a portal, set up to where you can donate right there on the website. If anybody wants to give any products and stuff like that for us to auction, you can email me. Our website is KentuckySustainableLiving.com. Go to the website. There's a contact form. You can email us. And if you're like, hey, I've got whatever, I've got an experience that we hadn't thought about. If they want to do that, email me. We'll talk on the phone and get everything set up that way. But if people just want to donate money, they can go to the calebhouse.org and donate money there.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's going to be an awesome time. I mean, that and then paired with the festival, it's going to be freaking awesome time. Have you cleared it
So,
where you want to get up there yet or not?
on the Friday, I'm definitely going to be up there that Friday afternoon for the first day. I'm not sure because we do have a class that weekend, so I'm not sure if I'm teaching that weekend yet or not. But if I'm not teaching, then we will definitely be there.
Right.
Like, I'll bring my kids with me and everything.
That's fine. Hey, we've got kids stuff to do. So I mean, yeah, it's Caleb House
So
with a
what
K.
kind of things are going to be available at the festival?
What times what? You cut
Like,
out.
what kind of things are you going to have available at the festival? Like, what about the festival? Tell us about it.
All right. The festival deals with homesteading and preparedness. And we've got, I'll tell you, Refuge, Bear will be there all weekend. Friday, he is teaching a 4 hour, it's a 4 hour trauma medicine class. Him and Michael, Medic Mike, are teaching it. Uh, there's one ticket available for that left. It's sold out deal. And I have the only ticket left for it. And you've got, what is today? Today's the 25th. You have, if you want to get in on that, you've got 5 days to buy a ticket to the festival, and you're entered to win that last golden ticket that I've got in my possession.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
yeah, so anybody that buys a ticket in the month of June is registered to win the last spot in that class. So
Okay.
you can go to the website, and I mean, tickets are $35 for all weekend. That covers all 3 days. The only thing that doesn't cover is the refuge class, but it's sold out. So
Mm-hmm.
you get access to everything. We've got Bear's going to be speaking. William Bond, the permaculture consultant, will be speaking. We did real heavy this year on like hands-on workshops. So we've got workshops, everything from how to do sourdough bread to lock picking and restraint escape to chicken processing, composting. We've got a guy that's doing chainsaw 101.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Jacob, Jacob Peterson, Exodus
Yep.
Knife and Tool. Jacob's going to be there. He's going to be doing some bushcraft stuff for us. But there's that, and then we've got, I had my notes, we've got 57 vendor spots there. So there's going to be 57 vendor spots of people selling everything from medical supplies to tactical stuff to freeze dried food, herbal tinctures, kind of everything in between. So
Very cool.
it's just pretty much if we can't technically, we're on a college campus, so they're like, you
Mm-hmm.
can't sell guns. But Byron Russell was there last time, and Byron lives down in Clarksville, and Byron had a bunch of his guns that he custom builds for people. He had those sitting out on the table, and nobody said a word about it. So
Yeah.
the girl that runs the place is pretty cool. Nobody got anything stupid. So
Yes, Marcus, we are talking about the Preparedness Festival in Bowling Green, Kentucky on July 18th, 19th, and 20th.
yeah. So yeah, but anything that you got as far as homestead and preparedness related, you're going to have there, and we mesh those people together because it's concentric circles. They overlap so much, and it's like we needed to put these two people together.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
It's
yeah,
funny the number of names that you've thrown out that like all of our people are going to recognize because they're in our group too. It's very small world out there.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, once you get in and you start meeting some of these people, it's like, well, so and so, and this, and that, and it's that whole whatever the Kevin Bacon movie, 7 Degrees of
It's
Separation.
7 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any questions that you want to ask him? You can go to the calebhouse.org if you want to make a donation. You can email Mr. Jason at KentuckySustainableLiving.com at what.com?
At Gmail. At
At
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Yeah.
I
But there's
know, like
almost
it does sound a lot like Alumni Weekend.
yeah. Hey, there's a lot of TAC Response alumni that come to it. I mean, I know Chuck Peoples is alumni, and Jacob's alumni. There's
Mhm.
a lot, and there's a lot of people that I probably don't know that are too. So, but yeah, I mean, there will be tons of people. Tickets are selling fast. We will not sell out of tickets. We can seat the arena. Oh, the biggest thing, everything is inside in the air conditioning.
Hey,
So
that's a selling point. If you've spent
yes,
any time outside this, like over the last few days here, that's a selling point.
yeah, yes, everything is inside. The only thing that's outside, we're going to do a cast iron cooking demo, so we have to have that outside, and then the food trucks will be outside. So everything other than that, you'll have to go outside to watch the cast iron cooking, and then you'll have to go outside to get your food. But other than that, everything is in the air conditioning in one huge arena that we've got there.
That is,
Yeah. Yeah, but if y'all got questions, ask questions. We'll answer the questions. If somebody's hesitant on about buying tickets, I mean, really, you're looking at like $12 a day.
yeah. I was looking through John Kranz. He was in the class with me this weekend. He's not Kranz, Kerr. I get their last names mixed up all the time. They don't look alike. They don't act like, I say they don't act alike. I can very, very much tell the difference in person between the
Yeah.
two of them. I don't always get their last names mixed up. But John Kruer was in the class with me. He's the one that gave me these brass burns right here. He said it's still hot here. Yeah, it got even hotter.
Oh yeah.
Got even
Well,
hotter.
oh yeah. Well, one of the cool things that I appreciate you doing this. I told you I was like, I want to come to Fighting Pistol, and you're like,
Mhm.
whoever buys it, you're going to be their battle buddy kind of deal. You
Yep.
can come with them. So I'm kind of excited to see who I'm going to get to take Fighting Pistol with, whoever buys it. So hopefully it's
Yes.
somebody I like. But I mean, when you come to one of these things, people are already pre-qualified. You're not going to walk into a place and a lot of places you walk in somewhere and you're like, have you seen the chemtrails they're spraying? People look at you like you have lost your mind. If you say something, if you go in and I say something, somebody's like, have you seen the chemtrails? They're like, yes, they're all over where I live too. So
Yeah.
everybody's pre-qualified to where you can talk and feel free to talk about stuff.
Yeah, we talk all the time about how like we're the island of misfit toys here. So if you don't fit in other places, this is probably the home for you. Like
Yeah, and I've never met anybody at our festival that I'm just like, this guy's batshit crazy. I don't want to be around him. There's a few people that think a little bit different, and you're always going to have, not everybody's going to think alike on everything. That's what makes the world go round. But
mhm.
in general, everybody kind of thinks alike. So it's an awesome time. The bad thing is it's almost like a family reunion where you like the family that you're going to a reunion with. I mean, I
That's
don't like going to
exactly how
family
we
reunions.
describe Alumni Weekend. It is a family reunion with people you actually enjoy being around.
Yeah, and it's sad. Sunday night when everybody's leaving, you're like, man, this sucks. I'm not going to get to see these guys for a while. So it's like
Yep.
I'm rushing again. It's like, hey, we need to get another festival going. So and it's like it's going to be another year before we get this thing going again. So because we're just doing it one time a year now. We were trying to do it in the spring and the fall, and it was just too much work because
Mhm.
Shelly and I like to put on other classes. So we'll host some other classes. We'll do some of our own classes. Most of the time, the
What
class,
kind of classes are y'all putting on? Like more
uh,
preparedness and homesteading stuff?
yeah, the classes that Shelly and I put on are mainly processing classes. So we'll do chicken processing, lamb processing, and pig processing. So we did a lamb class a few months ago. literally we processed 2 lambs that day. Those lambs were eating grass, and in the afternoon they were in the freezer. So we show you how to take it. And Jacob came to that class. Uh, so we showed you start to finish on how to cut these lambs up, all that stuff. On the pig processing class, those pigs were alive that morning and they were in the freezer and made into sausage that afternoon. Well,
So I'm grateful that I have other people in my life that will process for me. I don't like to meet my meat.
yeah,
I'm like, there, especially like if it's cute before
oh
you
yeah,
eat it, like it gets difficult for me. So I'm like, okay, that is where like the whole battle buddy stuff comes in, like the beans, bullets, band-aids. I
yeah.
am not in charge of the beans. That's not me. I'm the band-aid girl. Like I'm not the beans.
Oh yeah. Now it's funny. Like my wife does not like the killing part, the skinning and everything. But once it's in to like lamb chops or ground, she's fine with
Mhm.
it. She's like, I just don't want to see the head.
Right. I
And I'm
can
like,
I can do
okay,
that.
yeah. I mean,
Like we've
yeah,
gotten the big old pork loins and I've cut that like as long as I can't tell what it was,
yeah.
then we're good.
Oh yeah. But then my son, we did a beef last year, and my son was down there and he was poking the head, and he was like poking it with a stick, and I'm like, stop playing with a cow's head. And he's like, but it's fun. I was like, not really. I was like, don't do that. So
So my kids, I took them to a friend of mine's house and she had chickens and she sent us home with a bunch of eggs. And
yeah,
my 5-year-old, Gatlin, was just like, when we get home, I'm going to put these under a warmer and we're going to like have baby chickens. And I was like, no, bud, you've got like, that's not how this works. These eggs are for us to eat. They haven't been fertilized. He was like, no, mom, no. And that same conversation, like he kept asking questions, it led to him realizing like meat comes from animals. He was like crying. He was like, why can't people get their meat at the grocery stores like normal human beings? Like it had the complete disconnect. And I was like, I kind of might have failed as a mom there. Like if he didn't
yeah.
know, because we've told him like that's where steak comes from. That's where chicken comes from. Like that's pork chops right there. So we've told him, but there was a disconnect until he actually got to meet the chickens. And yeah, so I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Ooh."
Well,
There are adults who think that though.
oh yeah. They're like, why can't you just go to the grocery? You don't need to kill an animal, get it in plastic wrap. I mean,
Yeah.
we had the last steer we did. His name was Charlie. I mean, we name everything. I don't care. And his name was Charlie. And my youngest one started calling him Charlie Burger. And I'm like, that's kind of wrong, but it's funny. He'd go out there and holler. Charlie was a halter broke. I could put a halter on him, walk him around, and I'd come holler, and I'd be like, Charlie Burger, come here. And he'd just come up to you, want you to rub on him and everything. But now he's in the
That's a
free.
family pet.
Yeah.
That's a family pet. No, my
But
mother-in-law absolutely like destroyed me on that stuff. She like when me and my husband first started dating, she asked if I wanted to raise a rabbit and assured me that if I raised it, because I told her like, no, thank you. I don't like to meet my meat. She's like, if you raise it, we're not gonna eat it.
he
And
lied.
then like 6 months later, I named it. I named it Thumper. I went out there every day taking care of it. I played with that rabbit. Like that rabbit was my like bestie.
Yeah.
And we go down to the creek and we all camped out there during the summers. And they made me a plate and I'm eating it. And I was like, this doesn't taste like chicken. You said this was chicken. This is different though. And she was just like, it's Thumper. Like I've never eaten anything else that woman has prepared. And that was 20 years ago. So I do not eat food she prepares, but she absolutely just ruined me on like eating meat that I have met and interacted with.
Horrible that somebody do that. I mean,
Yeah.
in one aspect, it's funny, but in the other aspect, it's like, man, that's rough.
Yeah,
So,
that was my pet.
yeah.
Like me
Oh,
and
yeah.
Thumper were buds.
Yeah. Shelly and I'll do most of the time more of the homesteading and the processing stuff. We've actually got have you heard of Jessica, the combat midwife?
Mm-mm.
She teaches midwife and delivery stuff. So she's out of Texas. It's combatmidwife.com. But Jessica is coming up I think it's October 25th to Bowling Green, and she's doing a class. She's going to deal all as far as childbirth, problems with childbirth, right after, post delivery stuff and everything like that. She's going to do all that. So it's a full 1 day class that she's going to be teaching. So that's some of the stuff we're bringing in some bigger names to do stuff like that.
That is something I would be very interested in.
Yeah.
Like, so I want to make sure to get that website. I'll go back and watch the live and get the website. But that is like, I love medical stuff. Like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I said, that's my forte. I'm the Band-Aids.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we've got that. Evan might be coming down from Radio Made Easy. I've got to talk to him. He'll probably
He was
come
in the
down
class
to
with me this weekend.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw something. He was doing something this weekend. I saw like little snippets of the stuff he posted on Facebook. I was like, that looks pretty cool. So, but yeah, all that. The festival's going to be amazing. I mean, we're less than a month away, so
Right.
it's time to put foot to butt more than we have been. I'll put steak on other. Yeah, I mean, I do. I eat. I mean, probably 80% or better of the meat we eat comes from our place that we raise everything. So
That's impressive. That's
Yeah.
really impressive that it's that high of a number for you.
Yeah, and I mean we eat beef, pork, chicken, lamb. My wife and son don't like lamb, so if I roast a leg of lamb, I get the whole thing. So, but now
this one over here, Gage has popped his head back in. He is on a kick to try like a bunch of new things, and lamb chops, I believe, were on the list. Like that was one of the things that he wanted to try.
He also wanted to try the tongue of a cow.
The what of a cow?
Tongue.
He wants to try cow tongue too.
Cow tongue is supposed to be good. I mean, I've not done cow tongue, but I will tell you, as far as lambs, do not go to the grocery store and buy lamb, because we've got the lamb that you buy at the grocery store is a wool breed. Those sheep have a lot of lanolin in their system because of the wool. That's what gives it that gamey taste, that gamey lamb taste. We raise hair sheep. The hair sheep will shed their hair just like a dog will shed its hair, shed its winter coat. These shed their they shed their hair off in the springtime and just look super slick. They don't have the lanolin in their system, so the meat tastes totally different.
Okay.
So, hey, when your mom comes up, I will send you home I'll send you home some ground lamb so you can do lamb burgers.
That would sound good.
We'll try those. Yeah.
All you gotta do, salt, pepper, and garlic. Patty the burgers out, salt, pepper, and garlic. Grill them, and man,
WPS, white people seasoning.
I do a roasted leg of lamb. I put salt, pepper, and garlic on it, and roast it in the oven, and that's all it needs.
Okay.
But the lamb is amazing. It's all grass fed. All grass fed. They get a little bit of grain when I'm moving them from pasture to pasture, just so they'll follow me. But they're 99% grass fed. Some of the healthiest meat you're gonna have. Period.
Okay.
So healthy burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does the lamb taste like that y'all? Because I've only ever had it from the grocery store, and I didn't really care for it. I don't care for the gamey taste in meats.
Yeah. It's got a little hint of gamey, but nothing like you'd buy at the grocery store. The lamb chops, literally the lamb chops, I eat them like you'd eat ribs or something. I mean, I grill the lamb chop and just eat it right off the bone. It's so tender. It tastes like a really good beef, in my opinion.
Okay, so basically steak.
Yeah.
A steak but with no big gamey.
And probably, honestly, if I cooked lamb burgers for you, you'd probably wouldn't know that they were lamb unless I told you. And then you can kind of pick up that it doesn't have exactly the beef flavor that it would. But it's a red meat. It's not super fatty or anything like that. So I mean,
it's very
just
lean.
what do you say?
So it's really lean.
Yeah, it's a really lean. These lambs don't put on a whole lot of fat. You could get a lot more fat out of them if you grained them and everything, but then you're getting, off of their normal diet. The
Yeah.
sheep were made to eat grass. So they weren't made to eat corn and soybeans and all this other stuff. They were made to go through and eat grass and browse trees and stuff like that.
Well,
So
streets.
Browse treat like multiple different
eat
trees and eat off of them.
Okay.
oh yeah. Like our sheep, we had the wild rose bushes
Mm-hmm.
that you see growing up. Those sheep will go in there with their mouth and eat every stinking leaf off that thing and not prick themselves or anything. And I go and try to pull 2 leaves off, and I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how in the hell can you do that? I'm just
Thick
like
lips.
crazy.
Very thick lips.
Yeah, we had some goats out at the range for a little while, like helping control the
Yeah.
grass growing up. And they like I call them pricker bushes.
Yeah.
They're the thorn bushes, but I've always called them pricker bushes. They get out there and eat them like crazy, and there was never
Yeah.
they never had any issues with it.
I think
That was goats, and I know goats can eat everything. Goats do
Yeah.
eat everything. I don't know if they're supposed to.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny. Our sheep will clear poison ivy. They'll eat poison ivy like it's going out of style. And I'm
Okay.
like, I saw we got some poison ivy in one pasture, and they were just going to town with it, eating it. I'm
did
like,
they hurt them? Like
it's weird.
did
But yeah,
did it hurt them at all? Or
Did
did
it
He's
what?
asking if it hurt them at all.
No,
They-
they're
they-
fine. They're
so
fine.
then
The only
people
bad,
were
the only,
living
the
in
only bad,
vacuums.
the only
So
bad
basically-
thing you got to watch is if they're in a patch of poison ivy, and then you go to pet them or something, you're gonna get poison ivy. I'm like, this is not
Yeah.
fun. So, but yeah, does anybody have questions about the festival? While we're here, I'll answer. I can't see the comments pop up for just a second, and then they shoot
Yeah,
off.
I'm looking through now. People are talking about how this conversation is making them want the podcast. Grain mills don't shit bread. Like, so my dad did some podcasts with Jacob Herman. So if you guys want some more of those podcasts, tell Jacob to get his ass back to Camden, and we will get some done. I could probably do some with Jason. You seem to know a lot about the homesteading process and living without all of the today's comforts. Like, you do a lot of stuff for yourself. We should do that. Let's schedule a podcast. We're buying stuff to be able to do some remotely so that we could do a podcast like this right here. And so yeah, y'all start emailing some questions in info@tacticalresponse.com. If y'all want something specific, send the questions there and I can make sure to get them answered.
Yeah, I don't mind a bit to do some podcasts. Shelly and I do our podcast, but with festival being right here and everything, it's like we don't have time. But now Shelly and I also do on every Monday and Thursday, we're live on YouTube and Facebook with one of our speakers or one of our presenters. So every Monday and Thursday, we're live on that with somebody like that. So you can catch us on Facebook or YouTube. And then also, I've started doing a morning show. So I started doing the morning show just by myself. I do it on Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 o'clock Central Time. I started off talking about some news stuff and everything like that. And I'm just like, I hate talking about the news. You can jump on, because literally, we don't know, honestly, Israel and Iran, we don't really know if they're actually fighting. I mean, because all we're seeing is footage. We don't really know if Trump actually dropped those bombs or not. So it's like, let's talk about something. People spend an hour with me. I'm like, I want to give them some value instead of reading stuff off Fox. So I'm like, let's do a topic. The show I did on Monday, we talked about water storage. So, and it's not your typical FEMA 1 gallon per person per day and everything. It's like, you need a hell of a lot more. I was not super active today, and I drank over a gallon of water. And it's
Right.
like, you need more than a gallon of water. So I'm like, if people are going to spend an hour with me, I want them to come away with some knowledge. So we're going to cover mostly homesteading and prepping topics is what we'll
Where
cover
can
on
people
the show.
find that?
It's on Kentucky Sustainable Living on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So everything's pretty well branded Kentucky Sustainable Living. So it's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I don't do a lot on Instagram, but Instagram, everything from Facebook gets automatically put on Instagram now, which is nice. So
Yeah.
you don't have to deal with that. But yeah, so I do the morning stuff, and then Shelly and I on Mondays and Mondays and Thursdays we're doing lives with our speakers and stuff like that. So yeah, there's always, it's like I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on YouTube 5 days this week because Wednesday, right now I'm on with you. Wednesday is usually my break, but I'm like 5 days a week. It's like, holy cow. And I told my wife, and she's like, you're just going to have to live down there. I was like, I feel like I live on the internet sometimes.
Yep.
So, oh, I saw
8
that.
p.m. and 95 degrees outside. It is. It's still really warm.
Yeah.
But the festival is air conditioned, guys. So do not let that stop you from buying your tickets. And if you can make any function like you should try to swing by the July 19th auction. We've been talking about, we talked about earlier in the show, like the Caleb House is doing really good stuff, the rescue and rehabilitation for trafficked children.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, not just for drinking, but for cooking, sanitation. I figured on the water stuff, I went ahead and put 5 gallons per person per day. So I wasn't heard.
Right.
Auction. What'd they say? Auction. I wasn't heard.
He hadn't heard any. He come in a little bit late. So if you want to give another rundown for people who are still here, what's up, Sayers, Wix? If you want to give a quick rundown for people who are still here, why we had you on for the Caleb House stuff and what that does.
Yeah. We've got, in conjunction with our festival, the festival is July 18th, 19th, and 20th in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The festival on Saturday night, the 19th, we're having a charity auction for Caleb House. It's Bear Independent, TJ. It's his restoration facility for children that they've rescued from being sex trafficked. So they've got a whole rehabilitation center that they're building. They've got one house done. They're going to build more houses, as many houses as they need. So we're going to have a charity auction for them. We're hoping to raise as much money as we can for them that Saturday night. We're going to have awesome stuff. Kayla's got 2 classes we're going to auction off with gear and everything like that. Just all kinds of experiences. We're going to have silent auction stuff. We've got some chainsaws, stuff like that for the silent auction. So we're going to have that
stuff.
What's that?
The beekeeping stuff.
Yeah. Greg New, you can buy a day with Greg New to come out and set up your bees, show you all that stuff and everything. It's going to be a live auction only. I do not have the capacity and the bandwidth to figure out how to set up an online auction. So Scott,
that might be what you need to work on over the next year.
I'm going to handle that. I set up our website. The website is on Shopify. I set it up on Shopify, and I'm like, that's the most tech stuff that I want to do. I was like, other than that, I will hire somebody to do an online auction. So, but it's pretty complicated. I asked the guy, he's like, that's a lot of bandwidth that you've got to do. And he's like, we don't have time for that.
Right.
So okay.
But if they can't make it and they still want to donate, where can they go?
Yeah, calebhouse.org with a K. I remembered it this time. But it's calebhouse.org. You can go and donate money for them. See that they've got a bunch of stats and a bunch of stuff, what they're doing. You can sign up for their newsletter. They essentially, I think it's once a month or once a quarter they send out. I think they call it their restoration report. And it's got a few pictures of what they're doing and stuff like that and everything. So you can sign up for that. I think you can do a recurring donation where you donate so much money every month. Just set it up where it automatically drafts it out.
That's awesome.
They got tons of options like that. And honestly, the thing is, it's a small group that do this. They're not pissing their money away, just like some of these places, they've got a huge budget, and it's like a lot of the charities, like 90% or 90 cents of every dollar goes to management of it, and only 10 cents on the dollar goes to the actual thing. I don't know what the numbers are, but I can tell you more money is spent for the actual calls than it is on running the place. Unlike some of these other
almost any other charity program out there.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things with Doge that they were finding was like, you're paying so many consulting fees in between for this person to hand it to this person to hand it to this person. Why don't we just pay the dude doing it and cut out all of these consulting fees? Yes, I will absolutely add it to the description on this video. The link to donate directly to the calebhouse.org foundation.
Anything they want to donate, either get a hold of Kayla, because Kayla can get a hold of me, or you can email me. Just go to the website. There's a contact form on our website, which our website's KentuckySustainableLiving.com. And if you can't spell it, just do some Google foo and you can find it eventually. So, but yeah, do that. And if anybody wants to donate stuff for the auction, let us know. Like I said before, I need a war belt and I need another chest rig is what I'm looking for, are the big things.
Yeah.
So, but if somebody wants to do guns and we can put a gun in there, I don't care. So I tried to get the local gun shop to do it, but they didn't. So
maybe they would offer, like, donate their FFL services. Like, if they wouldn't donate an entire gun, sometimes they'll donate because it costs like $10 to do the NCIC check. Yeah. And then I know the local one here, they would waive everything except that $10 fee for certain charities and stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, we did. I tell you, last festival that we did in our raffle, that we did a raffle to help pay for the festival and everything. Silencer Co. was one of the sponsors. They gave us a certificate for a suppressor.
There you go.
Yeah. Like, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them to email me back. I was like, I need another suppressor. So I hadn't heard anything. The guy takes a while to get back, but I contacted him. He's like, heck yeah. He's like, I'll give you a suppressor. So you still had to pay the tax stamp and everything and be, eligible to have it, but you got the certificate and you emailed them and they did all the paperwork and sent it all out and did that for you. So I was like, and the cool thing is, I go to a lot of these festivals. I hadn't seen anybody raffling off a suppressor.
I think maybe at the NRA, the big show in Atlanta, the NRA show down there. But that might have been them doing it with the lifetime membership stuff. I don't know if I saw any at the auction.
Yeah.
Scott asked, are y'all a 503c? He knows some people at Silencer Central.
We are not. Kentucky Sustainable Living is not a 501c3, but Caleb House is a 501c3. So, yeah, our group, Kentucky Sustainable Living, that's putting on the festival, no, we're not a nonprofit. We're a for-profit. Not that we're making much money, but we're for-profit. So, but yeah, Caleb House is a registered 501c3. So,
I don't know how that stuff works. If you can show that that's where this is going to.
Yeah.
But
I think there's some forms that Caleb House can get to us and then send it over to where they're donating it to Caleb House and that kind of stuff. Okay. I know some people were asking because the donation is different. Donating straight to a 501c3 as opposed to just donating some other way, but they know all about that. That's where there's tax forms. Yeah. You need the tax forms, and they're good about getting tax forms if we need it and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's going to be an amazing weekend, and we're I think 20 days out or something like that.
Yeah, it's getting close.
Oh, it's asses and elbows. Shelly and I are talking every day, and it's all these little things. It's like, we got to do this, we got to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, it's just balls to the wall doing. All right.
Scott's I appreciate it. Stuff to your channel.
Yeah. We don't do a lot of gun stuff.
They have other channels they watch for the gun stuff. They're subscribing to watch what you do.
Yeah. I want to do some gun stuff, But my problem is I'm scared on what to do with the gun stuff that YouTube's going to strike me.
They strike you for everything.
Yeah.
Like we did a video like a couple weeks back, and it was doing really well. That there's no 180 rule in a gunfight.
Yeah.
And YouTube took it down, and it
Really?
said that it happened at the 6 minute and something mark. That was the bookends that we have used since we started posting videos on the channel. And they kicked the video out for it and didn't even give us the opportunity to delete that part and let the rest of the video through. So they're doing whatever they want.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I've got a brand new AR-10 sitting in the corner down here in the office. And I was like, I need to do a video on it, but I'm just like, I really don't want to strike. So I want to figure out how to do it.
Don't do any like gun manipulations can get you, you're running a risk there. And then because any modification of the gun, and apparently putting magazines or like flipping up sights looks like you're modifying the gun too much. So I don't know. But we are at the end of the stream. I really appreciate you guys hopping on here. I was very, like I said, it made my heart very happy to recognize so many names that had already reached out. Thank you, Jason, for taking the time to come on and sharing the good word with everybody.
Yeah. I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully this will get a lot more people coming up to the festival, and more importantly, coming Saturday night to the auction. That's why we're on here, is to do it. And it's the last one we did. I said we did it on Saturday night, and I said if nobody walks through that door on Sunday, the festival has been a success because we raised a bunch of money tonight for a good cause. So, but yeah, we want to pack the house. We want like 325 people at that auction. It would definitely please me tremendously if we could do that.
All righty, guys. There is your call to action. Remember, your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends. And this is the way. So this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. So, it was great talking to you, Jason.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.